No, what you just said about like helping other people find that light or the answers within.
I've went from trying to be a psychic to trying to give everyone the answers and showing them everything that's going on in their life and what the possibilities are. Taking a step back and trying to allow them the space and time to communicate what they're going through and to help them see for themselves and to come up with their own solutions from within.
I feel like we both kind of arrived at the same type of a place with this. You know, one approach could be like, I could tell them the answers. It just feels limiting. The whole thing about teaching people to fish rather than just giving them the fish so that they can learn to do that for themselves now is what you're reminding me of. And
Yeah,
I want to see their light blossom as well so that they can tap into their own inner unique guidance system. And I think that's what we're both doing at this time. How empowering.
absolutely. Yeah, it's something different when, and you're right, it is limiting when you sit there and try to tell them everything. But when you stimulate them and you ask them open-ended questions and you listen to them and you reflect back to them what they're saying, not only can they feel like they're being heard finally, and then you're asking them open-ended questions after reflecting back what they said in a way that is going to stimulate them to come up with their own answers. And a lot of times it's far beyond what I would have thought of. You know, there is no limit. Like it just expanded, so much more than it would have.
It really does feel like creating a space, holding a space for them to find their freedom and recognize their freedom and recognize their power
Yeah.
and how to point their power, how to use their thoughts and emotions in a constructive way to fuel their life forward under their own aspirations, their own heart's desires, their own dreams. So I'm inspired to like put information into the world, like boom, let me just put something out there, and then someone will come wandering across it and they'll be mindfully looking into their own life, and then this information will come in and be their little friend for that moment. And it could be a little option for that moment, or it could be that little stimulation, like you said, that little like sparky spark. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, 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 wait, that fits with this, that fits with that, and that, and that. And oh, okay. And so that's kind of what we're doing, right? In a way.
Yeah.
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 Stimulating the spark from within. So person has that inner voice within them and it can totally be clouded, right? It can be quieted or whatnot if they're listening to their, the external influences.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I want to ask you. Tell me. So you bring up a good point. Like everyone's got the voice, everyone's got that in them. So that's goody good news. So, but then you said like it could be clouded, or there could be a block, or it could be hidden, or we can't access it. Is what I hear you saying. So can you tell us more about that? Why or what's in the way, or how to overcome it? Maybe.
Absolutely. So, a lot of ways that people's inner voice can be quieted or clouded or blocked is that they're listening too much to other people and they're listening too much to the media and they're paying attention to the images and other things of how they should be and what they could do and what they should do. And their parents have told them they need to be this person. Teachers have told them they need to be a certain person. And so all of these thoughts and ideas are in their mind and maybe they don't know where those thoughts and ideas came from. This is why I encourage the best way to unblock that is to meditate and to allow yourself to clear your mind and listen to that inner voice. And that's how that inner voice can start growing and become a little bit louder because you can start discerning the difference between what is yours, what is your inner voice, what are you saying intuitively from within, and then like what did media tell you, what did your friends tell you, your family, strangers, and other people, what did they tell you? And when you can tell the difference, that's when you can start fulfilling and stepping into your power, just being authentic and being who you are, being more unique in who you are. Everybody has something unique to offer.
That's a really wonderful description of how to go through this process and really tap into that clean, clear space. And as you talk, I see things like I can see like actually, I think about my computer, and my computer has like all these files all over it. They're just everywhere. I don't know why. I just have collected so much, and I produce so much, and it's just a mess. I might even say, like, it's good stuff, but it's all disarrayed, and I don't know like where anything is. And so I reach for something, and then like there's other stuff in the way, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And because it's so disheveled, I suppose, or it's whirling around so much, I can't seem to manage it. And I have to do what you're saying. I have to like stop. I have to take that pause, and I have to take some breaths, and I have to meditate or go into my quiet mind space where it's blank, and calm the you know what down, so that I can just sort of look across the horizon of my personal life and be able to spot what is useful and what is not useful in the moment. And all of this stuff may be valuable, and it all was valuable at some point when my parents taught me this, that, and the other, and all that data is useful. It just feels like a timing thing now. It's like, it feels like if I could just get past the emotional disturbance of it all and settle down, like you're saying with meditation, and then if I could then have that vantage point to look into my life, which I could do if I was awake spiritually, or if I was the observer or the witness, which I feel like the witness when I'm calm. So when I meditate or I get emotionally dialed down. So we keep coming back to this, like that, the breathing being that doorway to that quiet space of observation, that tower, to look down into our own life and to sort through what is the gemstone in the moment and what are the weeds or the mud. And the next day, those muddy things might be gemstones. That's the weird thing, is that everything can come back around and be useful. And if that's the case, then yeah, that means that nobody really has given me any garbage. They've just given me, oh my God, maybe they have given, maybe everything is a gemstone, but it's all about timing. And so I don't want to like cast anybody out really, or call anyone against me or evil or whatever. Instead, I just want to use the right thing at the right time. And only I will know how to do that. That's what you're talking about, I think, that if I would just get into that inner power place and get into my own inner voice, my inner organizer, then I'll be able to piece together the puzzle of Brian in a way that will be putting new things into the world that no one else is doing. Because we are, like you said, each so unique and rare and one of a kind. And that's the true value. It's not making carbon copies of ourselves, of course, which is what I hear you saying. Of course, that sounds like what you were saying, where I should do what they're doing. I should be like that person, or I wish I was that person. Oh, because we want what it seems they have. But we can all have access to anything that we want, our heart's desires, once we first go to that space where we can hear our small voice within, right? Yeah,
I
great.
want to repeat one of the things that you said, which is like about how something could be a gemstone, and then like you have the mud and the weeds around it. And I want to say, like, without the mud, the lotus flower would never bloom. So it's like even through that mud and the muck and all that stuff, like the petals and the layers of the flower unfold still. So
Yeah.
sometimes we need that. We need that.
Look, I'm trying to find an enemy, and I'm looking for one, and I'm like, where are you, enemy? And I'm like, well, it must be the mud, because the mud seems like crappy, seems like crap actually, but it's just not, right? Even shit is like fertilizer for things to grow. So like seriously, could it be that there really is no enemy, and that the real issue is if I decide that there's an enemy, if I create an enemy with my words and my belief, then I feel as though I'm in a opposition to things in the world, So,
Absolutely.
ooh, I got the chills. Now I'm scared. Why? I'm scared I'm going to accidentally make an enemy. Oh my God, that's crazy. But it's, if I'm not calm, then I am in not danger, but I am susceptible to accidentally bursting forward with a story of dark scariness that I then start seeing reflections of in my reality, and I start to believe in it more and more. And before I know it, I have dug myself a dark, dark rabbit hole of destruction.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the only thing I would be concerned about and like why you might be having fear of creating this dark, dark rabbit hole and, digging yourself into this is if you don't accept that it's there and be like, hey, I'm not dark. Like, there's only light around here. Like,
Oh,
only love and light around here. That darkness subconsciously kind of just takes over, and you're like, well, I don't accept that it's here. So that means it has free reign and I have no control over it.
all right. So by looking at it and being like, hey there, little dark rabbit hole, you little devil, I see you. And I'm really glad that you exist, actually, because I want everything to exist, because I don't want to create non-existence or some kind of like, this is good and this is bad. I want all of it to be seen as absolute good, even the darky dark rabbit holes. So now I have a different attitude. I have a different feeling. This is different than language and descriptions. This is like the divine feminine. This is like this feeling of playfulness and creativity with the light and the dark in the world. And so now I can be like, come on over here, fear. Do you want to talk with me? Because I'll listen. Now I may not invest in you and take your advice, fear, but I'm so glad that you give a crap about me and you're willing to talk with me and suggest options for me. So I like this. I feel emancipated. I feel like what you described before, that observer that is beyond the emotional, whatever, like reactions.
Yeah, and it's an acknowledgement that the fear and the love and the light and the darkness is a composition of what has created our reality and like our existence as human beings living and having a human experience. We need that duality in a sense, but the reality is that it's not actually light or dark or good or bad or evil and righteous. It all just is.
Mm,
And we are the ones that put that label on it that this is bad, this is good. Well, reality is that it's just happening. We're all human beings that evolved from living like animals, and now we've created rules, and now here we are, right? So if we can just accept that everything just is, and nature strives to maintain balance. And so if we just accept, okay, it is what it is, it's not going to stay that way for long because things will change and they start shifting. So the first thing is just being like, okay, I recognize you, you little dark rabbit hole, and I see you, and I'm not going to fall down that hole again because I've
right.
been there before and I recognize that part of myself, and I don't favor that part of myself. So I'm going to prefer to shed light on, that darkness right there so that when I shed light on that hole, then I can see it and I can avoid it.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. How it sounds so mature. Like it just sounds so grown up. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I made it to a place where I can be like my own parent or my own, friend or my own helper or my own whatever. I don't have to be so concerned anymore. And then that opens up all of that flow of like, I'm just sort of being Brian in the world. And I get to celebrate whatever unique things come through me. And it just feels good. I mean, it literally feels like a feeling of life, like just radiating through me, like that. And I like it. And it's better than any drug I've done. I've done a lot of those. You know what I mean? It's better than any relationship I've had out there with a person, place, or thing in the world, because those always change, sort of. But this other identity, this I am that I am, I guess, it consistently stays the same. And the energy of creation consistently feels amazing, just amazing over and over again. So, yeah. We're so happy. We're doing so well. Oh my God.
Well, this is a great conversation that we had here. Triggering that healing from within people and helping them come up with their own understanding of their own issues. And then talking about shining light on dark traits that we possess and recognizing that it's not all bad and we don't need to be afraid of it.